Your body has 30 trillion cells. Hormones are messengers, chemical messengers, that travel in your blood and tell everyone what to do. So do you agree that these chemicals are powerful? If you said yes, I agree. Let's start with one of the most powerful hormones in your body. It's called IGF-1. Its initials mean insulin-like growth factor 1. IGF-1 is the active chemical from the growth hormone, HGH. Therefore, IGF-1 is the most powerful growth hormone in our bodies. It helps cells to grow. It helps us to build muscle mass and bone mass. And it also helps in rejuvenation. How does IGF-1 affect your longevity? This study speaks about that. The name of the study is Association between IGF-1 and all-cause mortality. As you can see in this graph, there is a sweet spot of IGF-1 and longevity. Too little or too much reduce your lifespan. I'm quoting from the researchers. Dose-response analysis revealed a U-shaped relation between IGF-1 and mortality. Both high and low levels of IGF-1 increase mortality risk, with a specific 120 to 160 nanograms per milliliter range being associated with the lowest mortality. So here we have a sweet spot for our IGF-1 blood tests. How much protein we eat every day affect IGF-1? I'm quoting from this study. Besides its role as a brick provider for building the organic matrix of skeletal tissues, dietary protein stimulates the production of anabolic bone trophic factor IGF-1. Dietary protein means the protein coming from our diet. So here they refer to the IGF-1 that affects the bone. Bone IGF-1 is a hormone that helps in building bones. Consuming high protein, dietary protein as they said, tells the body to make more of it. It's not that your bones really need more protein as a building block. It's more that your bones need more instructions to build bones, which comes from this bone IGF-1. And what controls IGF-1 is the protein that you eat. What about IGF-1 that is not related to the bones but to the entire body, such as the muscles? Is it controlled by protein too? This study measured long-term protein consumption in humans and the effects on IGF-1. The name of the study is Effects of Calorie or Protein Restriction on Serum, meaning blood, IGF-1 concentration in humans. I'm quoting, "Our data provide evidence that protein intake is key determinant of circulating IGF-1 levels in humans." Have you heard about caloric restriction? Caloric restriction is one of the most powerful strategies that we have today to extend lifespan in animals. Today, caloric restriction is a proven strategy to increase lifespan in animals between 25 up to 40%. And usually animals with caloric restriction have reduced level of IGF-1, because with calories they also reduce their protein intake. So here the researchers try to imitate caloric restriction in humans and to see if they get the same impact on IGF-1. What do you think they found? As you can see, caloric restriction alone hardly budged IGF-1 until the researchers reduced their protein. The researchers concluded, here we report data from 2 long-term caloric restriction studies, 1 and 6 years, showing that severe caloric restriction without malnutrition did not change IGF-1. Malnutrition means without reducing protein, and this is a human study, not animal study. What's the variation in protein they use in the study to see the impact on IGF-1? I'm quoting, "Reducing protein intake from an average of 1.67 grams per kilo of body weight per day to 0.95 grams per kilo of body weight per day for just 3 weeks in volunteers practicing caloric restriction resulted in reduction in serum IGF-1 from 194 to 152. I continue to quote, "The short-term reduction in protein intake resulted in 25% reduction in serum IGF-1 concentration. And this reduction to 152 IGF-1 in the blood tests, this level falls exactly in the longevity target, showing the lowest mortality in humans." As you can see, even moderate to small variation in our daily protein consumption can affect IGF-1, just to show how powerful our protein consumption is. So, you think caloric restriction is a powerful strategy? It's protein that it truly is. Even in dietary protein changes that do not seem extreme. They only change 1/3 of protein consumption. You can do that tomorrow. And you can play with your protein intake as you wish to achieve whatever goal you want to achieve. Now, how does protein consumption exactly do that? You see, most of the IGF-1 we have in our blood is produced by the liver, but it's the protein that truly tells your liver what to do. When you eat, your liver counts how much protein you eat and make IGF-1 accordingly. The brain is also involved in this production, but this is a simplified version of it. It's not just about how much IGF-1 that you have, it's also about the sensitivity of your body and your muscles to IGF-1. Sensitivity is how well your muscles respond and react to the growth signal coming from IGF-1. Dr. Longo suggested that low-protein diet or fasting are usually followed by heightened sensitivity of the body to IGF-1, which activates massive rejuvenation potential of the body. Let's hear Dr. Longo on the value of keeping your body very sensitive to IGF-1.
And I think that might even help, again, keeping the IGF-1 receptors sensitized so that when you do have the proteins, everything is working very well. Everything is getting built correctly. Sensitization is going to make things a lot easier. Maybe this is why these women, that they were gaining muscle mass very easily, just doing 20 minutes a day of exercise.
This signal works best when you go from low IGF-1 to high IGF-1. Meaning from low protein to high protein intake. This is the opposite of eating high protein diet all year round to build muscle mass, which is a common advice in the fitness world. When you have elevated IGF-1 chronically, you can make your cells and muscles resistant to this IGF-1, reducing the growth signal from IGF-1. This advice can actually make your muscle resistant to IGF-1, causing your muscle growth to plateau at some point. Has it ever happened to you? So what happens when you shut down IGF-1 production and then increase it? This is exactly what I've done in this experiment. After many experiments on my body I'm going to share today about protein, I lost a lot of muscle mass. This is me at age 32. Lean, skinny, ugly. Then I decided I need IGF-1 right now. Because it doesn't matter how much exercise you do. If you do not have enough IGF-1, you won't grow muscles, period. Therefore, I needed this IGF-1. And to increase IGF-1, I need to increase my protein intake. I could have increased my protein intake by 30% or 50%, but this time I decided to triple my protein consumption. I increased my daily protein intake from 48 grams to 150 grams. What would happen in my body? You can imagine. It would skyrocket my IGF-1. But that's not everything. There is another secret I used. Before the experiment, I was on a low-protein diet, which caused my IGF-1 levels to plummet. What does it mean? It means that my muscles were extremely sensitive to IGF-1 levels. So when I skyrocketed my IGF-1 levels, my muscles were extremely sensitive to it, meaning IGF-1 has a much larger effect in the muscles. The result, in 4 weeks only, I gained 8 pounds of pure muscles at age 32, when my testosterone is definitely not in my peak, meaning I did not have the testosterone levels I used to have in my 20s. This is how powerful protein is when combined with intense exercise. So to grow muscles, all I needed to do at this point is to cause sufficient muscle damage by very intense exercise that is not frequent, and allow the IGF-1 to penetrate into the muscles and make it grow. This is as opposed to constantly elevated IGF-1 that happens when you always eat high protein diet. So there is a value in cycling here. As you can see, you can play with your protein intake not only to control IGF-1 but also to control the sensitivity, which can enhance its effect. For this video, I conducted an experiment where I added 7 grams extra protein every day for 4 months, increasing my daily protein intake to 0.9 grams per kilograms of lean body weight. The original results you see here were fascinating. My IGF-1 levels came back at 156, comfortably within the longevity range from the IGF-1 human study, despite eating more protein. This suggests that as a compromise, we might consume slightly more protein over our minimal baseline to enhance our physical conditioning without causing significant spike in IGF levels, which will accelerate aging. It's a good way to balance longevity with maintaining muscle mass. I mentioned IGF-1. What about it after age 65? It drops pretty significantly. In fact, you may get too little IGF-1, which can hurt the rejuvenation capabilities of your body. And this too low IGF-1 suddenly can reduce your lifespan, because even your immune system needs IGF-1 to replicate and protect you from other diseases, even against cancer.